Well, thanks, James, for coming on to the Canadian Entertainment Podcast. Hosted by me. James. James is from. You're born in Orangeville, right?
Well, I was actually born in Toronto, but I grew up near Orangeville,
Okay.
Ontario, which is not all that far from Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge.
I know. Depends on which way you're going, but I think we grew up most likely sharing the same area code, I would assume.
Oh, are you a 519er?
Of course I am. 519.
Yeah, till I die.
Dabble with the 226 sometimes.
Ooh, we didn't have 226 out by me, but I was pretty passionate about the 519.
Yeah. I mean, how can't you be these days?
Yeah,
I want a lot of
absolutely.
people. I guess that brings me to my first real question. Well, okay, so James, you've been in entertainment for.
Oh yeah,
you've been doing it some time, eh?
yeah, 20 fucking years.
20 years. Wow.
And I just want to say too, people are probably wondering, how did these two guys get together? How did this happen?
Yeah.
I Instagram DM. Once in a while, I Instagram DM you.
Yep.
And I DM'd you and said, I want to be on the pod because I'm a huge Ben Stagger fan.
Wow, I was honored when you asked me to do that, and I gotta wonder, is that how Tom Power gets his guests on Q?
Well, I wonder. That's a great.
Do you think Chapel Roan
DMs?
Yeah,
I want to be on Q. Yeah, or the banjo player from one of those bands,
Yeah.
whatever they're called.
Yeah.
The Suspender Boys.
Great band from
Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah. He scores the big name acts. But no, okay,
Yeah,
I actually
anyway,
do
sorry,
like
go ahead.
I do like Tom Power. I think
do
he's
too.
great.
I've met him.
I've seen him at
He's
comedy
so
shows.
nice.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is cool.
He's really cool.
Speaking of which, the other day I was driving around and I saw Shad, another Q host. Yeah.
Interesting. What was he doing?
He was just walking and he had a Lalo bar jacket on.
Oh, okay. Where's
Like-
Lalo?
It's like near College and
Oh,
Land-
yeah. Right.
But he was just in that area. But it's crazy the people you just sometimes see Canadian people on the street when you're in Canada.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think Americans would ever get seeing Shad.
Yeah. No,
Like, to them, that'd be like, huh?
I know. Like, how often are you seeing? Like, that's like what's that guy's name? Oh my god. Yeah. How often are Americans like you're not driving around New York City and you're seeing Don Ohlmeyer in a Lalo
Okay.
Letterman jacket.
I don't want to hijack your plan of conversation, but like, I live in the Annex in Toronto. I mean, I could tell you the celebs I've seen in the Annex.
Who have you seen? No,
It's a long list.
Okay, tell me. Yeah, I'd like to hear a couple.
Only a guy called Matthew Broderick.
That's crazy.
I've seen him twice.
Wow, why?
Must have been shooting movies or something.
Yeah, or he likes Vesta lunch.
Yeah. I've seen Julianne Moore in the Manulife Center. That's not a lie.
That's crazy.
And Adam Christie told me she had a house here for a while.
Where's the Manulife Center again?
Bay and Bloor.
Oh, okay.
You know where Italy is?
Yeah.
That's the Manulife
Whoa.
Center. Yeah, you gotta
That's
go.
crazy. I just want to go to see her.
Well, yeah, if she's still there, I don't know.
I want to say, you know what? A lot of people might have said some shit about you, but I thought you were a better Clarice than, I don't even know her name.
Jodie Foster.
Former child actor. I don't know her. Yeah.
Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Okay, I've also seen, I have walked by Margaret Atwood gardening, and I'm not.
That's
kidding.
crazy. So
gardening outside her home.
I'm not gonna ask where she lives exactly, but that is crazy.
I'll tell you off air.
Yeah. Does she have a nice garden?
Yeah, it was a beautiful house and a beautiful garden.
Cool. Was she wearing like the the red thing and the bonnet and stuff?
Yeah, she was. She's very method about the whole thing, but hey.
Wow.
Okay, now we're getting into the nitty gritty, okay?
Yeah.
I'll give you some more good celebs.
I'd love to hear.
Are you familiar with a gentleman named Ken Finkelman?
Name sounds familiar, but
Well, he was the creator of the newsroom, I think it was called. No.
Oh.
There was like a Canadian. It was funny. It was like a Larry Sanders style show about news.
Okay.
It was good, and I've seen him a couple of times. And he did, that was his big thing.
Wow.
In the annex. And Don Ferguson of Air Farce. I've seen him on a bike probably twice.
Wow. He's riding off into the sunset. Just saying how Air Farce, so he's just like, he's doing his thing right now. So good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Do they still do the New Year's Air Farce?
No, I don't think they did.
Damn.
They do. I watched the very last one, and I think they didn't get a lot of money to do it.
Yeah.
Because you could kind of tell they were kind of, they weren't getting the support they needed from CBC.
Yeah.
Sad.
Come on. I'm trying to think of who runs CBC, but I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, and last one. I'm older than you, so you may not know this guy.
Well, not for sure.
Well, that's true.
No, because the one thing is on this podcast and just in my life, I made a vow to myself a couple of years ago when I was pursuing. When I was pursuing Canadian entertainment, I said I will not reveal my age to many people, at least on recorded. And I don't share a lot with people because of the rampant ageism that is in the Canadian entertainment industry.
It's a huge problem that we need to start addressing.
I know. You know how Justin Trudeau had the big tariff speech. He did great. Yeah. He did a good job on that. I think next he has to talk about ageism in the Canadian entertainment industry.
Ben, I agree. Like, sure. At this moment, deal with the tariffs. That's great. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
As long as the next thing you talk about, Justin, is, like, man over 40 shouldn't, like, he doesn't, people don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and Justin has just been ignoring us.
He's been ignoring, and
in this entertainment industry, specifically in Canada specifically.
And you know what? I mean, maybe he had it too good because he did a little bit of acting when he was a bit younger, but he doesn't know the reality.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's an election issue.
I think it should be.
I think I would like to hear that in the leaders debate. So,
me too.
And I would like to hear the Bloc Québécois perspective. Well, it hits Quebec too. So,
and it's not fair because older people like me aren't as good at TikTok and all that. So they should make an app for older people like me where I don't have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not fair that a 22-year-old figures out TikTok and then gets popular. What about the 40-year-old guys?
Exactly.
Exactly. Sad. Anyway,
you know what?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, this is a call out because, I born and raised Kitchener-Waterloo, formative years, and it is, some people call it Silicon Valley of Canada. Yeah. So there's got to be a couple developers from Kitchener-Waterloo listening to this. I say, and even you got to ask RIM. RIM, they stop with the BlackBerry. I think this would be a good idea. Like a TikTok for older Canadian guys.
Older Canadian men.
Yeah. Please.
Like come on, for Christ's sake.
The thing I will say is because I don't reveal my age, I could be a lot older than you, or I could be 8 or 9, right? That's the thing. I could look pretty old for 8 or 9. So that's the thing I say,
That's actually a very smart move.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so you may or may not know this guy, but there was a Much Music VJ called Master T.
Okay, I do know. I do know who that is. Is there?
I saw him at Loblaws.
Wow, that's crazy.
DuPont and Christie.
Wow, I don't.
Not to dox him, but
was he what section of the Loblaws?
I remember it was beans.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're Much Music. They're just like us.
They're
just like us.
They are. Oh yeah, Rick the Temp.
I saw him once.
Really?
I worked catering at one point, and I saw him at the Shangri-La.
Ooh, nice. Fancy place. I guess he's rich, huh?
Yeah, or it was like it was like an event. Some sort of media event. So
I'm having water too.
Dave and Buster's will not be drinking out of a Dave and Buster's after February 4th. I will say that much because of the tariff. So I want to, this is a good place to begin because everyone's talking about how the tariffs that Trump is imposing are how they will affect, Canadian products and stuff like that. And there's lots of movements talking about people buy Canadian, buy Canadian, buy Canadian. Mm-hmm. So the question is, because, we both dabble in the entertainment industry, it's like, well, up till February 4th, I might have to, watch some of the, this might be the last time I watch Jurassic Park for a while. This might be the last time I stream Sixth Sense, for example. Mm-hmm. But my question is to you. So if I'm going to ban a lot of these things, what do we think of like movies like Spaceballs, where John Candy's in it? Rick Moranis is in it, but it's probably an American production. What do you think? Where do you stand on all this?
That's so tough because I watch American Pie probably once a week.
Yep.
And yes, it has Eugene Levy in it, but also it's really an American production. I don't know. You know what? I wonder. So they shoot a lot of American shows up here.
Yep,
Hollywood
they do.
North.
Yep.
They shoot all the Star Treks here.
Oh. Yes, they do.
And what if these tariffs make it expensive to bring the stars up? Like, is there going to be a tariff on the American actors who come up and act in Star Trek?
True.
And if that's true, maybe Star Trek should look at, I don't know, Ben Stagger, James Hartnett as a captain on a starship.
Oh my gosh. I would, and you know what? It has been my dream. Honestly, since I was a little kid, I didn't watch Star Trek as a kid, but my parents did, and they really got me loving the Ferengi. So is part of my, I'd love to be a Ferengi.
Oh, dude. Quark?
Yeah, I'd love to be a relative of Quark.
Yeah. Quark is a great character. Quark and Odo, those two are like the odd couple on acid.
Yeah, Odo is he's such a stickler for the rules,
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Quark's just always trying to do his shit, and then Odo gets in the way. And
Quark is definitely cooler than Odo.
Yeah.
Odo is a narc, basically.
Yeah.
Quark's like, I'm trying. You know what's interesting? On Star Trek The Next Generation, do you watch that, or have you watched that?
Yeah, I have.
That's so good.
It is really good, yeah.
Unbelievable. Bethany and I watched an episode the other night. Anyway, on Star Trek The Next Generation, the holodeck is always like, it's very, PG rated.
Yeah.
It's just for acting out a Sherlock Holmes mystery.
Yeah.
Going back into ancient Greece and learning how they came up with mathematics.
Yeah.
But on DS9, they let it get a little hornier. And Quark outright says to people, you can make it do anything you want. On DS9, people are having sex in the holodeck.
Yeah, well, and doesn't he also... He advertises at his bar. He has the holo suites. He has holo suites.
Yeah, that's the champagne room.
I know. It's so. I mean, you know what? The Next Generation did have like some very horny undertones. I think they were just kind of like, let's dial it up. Oh yeah, Riker. And and
Deanna Troi.
Yeah, Deanna Troi. She was allowed to. She had a different costume than everyone else.
That's true. But there's no reason why she had the slightly sexier costume. Same with 7 of 9 on Voyager.
I haven't watched Voyager yet, so I gotta check that out. Yeah. I'm a big. What's that? What's that actress's name?
Oh, Kate. The
7 of 9.
Jerry Ryan.
I'm a big Jerry Ryan fan. Yeah. So. Yeah, frick, man. There's a lot of deep Canadian connections. What about, come on, Paramount.
I have a holodeck morality question for you, okay?
I would love to hear.
Now, let's say you're in a relationship, okay?
Yep.
And this is in a world where holodecks are real.
Yeah.
Does it count as cheating if you or your partner have sex with a hologram in the holodeck? Does that count as cheating?
I would probably say I'd probably say, yeah, probably. I'd probably say yeah.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, we'll leave it to the viewers.
Yeah, leave it
comment,
to the viewers. Yeah.
and we have to ask ourselves: is there a difference in the question if it happens in a hollow deck or a hollow suite?
That's true. Although the hollow suite seems worse.
Yeah. You know what? The hollow suite, I feel like if you're in the hollow suite, the graphics might be a little bit worse. Like it's a suite versus like
A deck.
the USS or whatever, the Enterprise. Like that's the kind of like government funded. This other thing is like, this is Quark. I don't know where he's getting it from, right?
Yeah, like black. It feels black market.
Yeah. But at the same time, we got to think about it this way. Maybe the hollow suite, it's government funded. Kind of reminds me of a little something like Meta, ChatGPT. But then Quark's hollow suites, well, okay. I was going to say like DeepSeek. I'm trying to tie it to the news.
No, I mean, you know,
and
what's
we hear
crazy?
DeepSeek
connected.
is yeah, it really is. I know that's what I when I was watching it, I felt like kind of dumb. Well, just like that, my mom was like, wow, this is kind of like Earth. But that's probably exactly what the point of the show is.
DS9?
Or just in general, the Star Trek, like, this is like what's going on now. Like, that's what I thought about a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're trying to be like, hey, this is kind of like what's happening on Earth.
Yeah.
But it's an alien and, you know. Ever seen Battlestar Galactica? That show was good.
No,
I
haven't.
newer one. I never watched the really.
I haven't watched that one, but
That's
I'm
very
curious.
Canadian too. No joke. I think they filmed it in Vancouver, and the stars are American, and then everyone else has the most Canadian accent.
Oh,
ever.
I love that.
The sort of equivalent of Riker is this old guy. And he's like an old Canadian guy who talks like that.
Like a maritimer, kind of?
I think he must be.
Oh, I love that.
It's if you want to hear a lot of Canadian accents, Battlestar Galactica, really good.
Oh my gosh. And are there, I guess, some Canadian, like, you watch an episode and you're like, oh, I know that guy. Or no?
I didn't, but I think you might. Oh yeah, one of the leads in it ended up with a CTV drama, but I don't think it went anywhere.
Oh.
Another of the leads in it was this actress Grace Park, I think, who is beautiful.
Okay.
And she ended up on Hawaii Five-0.
Whoa, like the new one or the old? Okay.
Yeah.
Grace. Nice.
Yeah, Grace. We love you.
Do you know this other, like, sort of, there's like another Star Trek show that's like really puppet heavy. Do you know what I'm talking about? I saw they were playing it once at Tall Boys, the venue, and okay, I don't.
Puppet heavy Star
Okay,
Trek
okay. But it's like not Star Trek, and it might be filmed in Australia. Australian space. And I swear, show puppets. Let's see what I got here.
We need a
Farscape. Do you know this show at all?
Never heard of it.
Well, they have a lot of puppets in it, and I kind of Jim Henson create like the Jim Henson studio. So, but it's serious though too. But they just like go hard on realistic looking puppet type figures.
Did you know this? You know, Jim Henson, the legend.
Yep.
He was in Canada a lot.
Well, Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock was a Canadian show. And
Yeah.
he fucking came up here to do it.
I remember being a little shocked when there's some I watched Fraggle Rock a little bit like years ago when I as a kid or like teenager sometimes on, and the old puppet guy, do you know who I'm talking about? There's like a guy with a mustache and he goes places.
Man.
Yeah, I saw him in an episode. He rides the Great Canadian Mindbuster. I'm not even kidding you.
What?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding
How
you.
did he get out of Fraggle Rock?
I don't know.
He went to Canada's Wonderland?
Yeah, he went to Canada's Wonderland. They let him in. Yeah, he went to Vaughan.
Maybe they thought he was a mascot, and they went, "Oh, he must be late for work."
Yeah. He worked. It's a guy. Yeah,
they don't know that he's an actual cave dweller underground.
Yeah, maybe they're. Well, that's a good way for him to sneak. Yeah, they were probably like, "Oh, works in Hanna-Barbera land," you know?
Yeah,
close enough. Look, yeah. So,
Do you like roller coasters?
I do, but as I get older, I get a little motion sickness, and still, that as I get older, I could be turning 10 or something, right?
Right.
It can go a lot of different ways. I could be turning 2, so yes. But do you at all or no?
You know what? I don't like them. I don't like the feeling of falling. And
That's
people
fair.
don't get it. I've talked to my friend Aaron Eves about this. He loves roller coasters.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'm like, well, I don't like them, you know. And he can't accept. He's like, no, you just haven't been on them enough. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I've been on roller coasters a bunch. I don't like. It's not like philosophically I'm against it. It feels bad in my inside, like the feeling of falling. I'm like, whoa!
Yeah.
I don't find it fun.
You should.
I wish I did, but I don't.
You should. Well, you should go to your doctor about that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
free healthcare.
Exactly.
well.
Exactly. That's yeah. Do it now before we don't know what's gonna happen in the future, and so yeah.
Oh God, it's so true.
It's so true. Yeah.
How's the celiac going?
Celiac. You know what? It's going fine, but one thing I have been noticing as the years go by, and this is something I could play to, not everyone fully sees it, but I see it, is the products, they're being taken away from us.
Oh, okay. I'm gluten intolerant.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting a blood test to try to help land on if I'm celiac or just intolerant.
Nice.
But I noticed that too. It's so annoying. There'll be a gluten-free product, and you're like, oh, yes, this rocks. And it disappears. It's so like, I don't know. I guess it's because it's a smaller market or something, but they appear and disappear so quickly.
It's annoying.
I found a gluten-free beer I love, and I'm so scared it's going to go away.
What's it called?
Mitski Brewing Ancestral Quinoa Beer. It sounds
stupid.
It's really good.
Damn.
I'll send you the link.
Do they sell at the LCBO?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. It's way better than Glutenberg.
Yeah.
Glutenberg is meh.
I heard that Glutenberg is like, it went out of production, but now it's like going back in production.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to have an option, but this Mitski one is really good.
Okay. Wow. Good to know.
People don't know neither of us can eat gluten.
I know. Well,
yours is more serious.
But again, yours could be. You just gotta get the right test to like truly. Yeah. You know what? It's the thing is like in the past couple of months, the Food Basics that I shop at, they've moved the gluten-free bread that's not in the freezer around twice, and I've had to re-look for it.
Get your head out of your ass.
Yeah. So no one wants to talk about that, so I'm breaking that there.
No.
And you know what? One thing I really used to enjoy, these gluten-free donuts made by a company called Knick or something.
Most things have been replaceable, but I really miss donuts. I would love a donut.
Dude, these were really good. They were so good. You just buy them at the grocery store, and now they're nowhere to be found, really. So I don't know what to do. I mean, it's making, I guess, me eat a bit, because I used to just go through them sometimes when I got them, but no one wants to talk about this, and that's
Nobody
terrifying.
wants to talk about
That's
it.
terrifying.
It's terrifying.
What? Yeah. You know how Doug Ford wears these Canada's not
for sale?
Hats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want him to do. I don't know.
What do you want? What do you think?
Well, no. I just want him to have a hat that's like about the problem that we're facing at the grocery stores.
Moving around.
Stop moving around.
Yeah, the gluten-free bread.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea for a hat.
Yeah.
God.
Come on. Yeah, Doug. He's...
He might be gluten intolerant and not know it because he looks a little bit bloated. I mean...
Yeah, it's true. And you know what? I've been there. Sometimes that happens to me if I eat gluten or something, I wake up and I go to the washroom, turn on the light, and I look in the mirror and I look identical to Doug Ford. Like my face looks like him. Hair goes as blonde. I wear Canada's not for sale hat on my. Yeah.
Wow. God, it's a weird world out there. I mean, that's all you can say right now.
It truly is. So great of you to come on this thing.
My honor.
You've had some years in the industry, and one thing, you know what? I was very surprised recently. I was just doing some research on some Canadian television and stuff like that, and I never knew how big of a show this Canadian show Due South was.
Oh man. Okay, again, we're not going to say who's older than who, but I remember the Due South mania.
There was mania, eh?
Oh, here's what I remember. It was like there's a show on American TV and it's got a Mountie in it.
Yeah.
I think it might have been a co-production, but this was when there were a lot, there weren't really cable shows or streaming shows. So
Yeah.
there was like 4 networks in the States and all the shows on were big deals kind of.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, what a moment of Canadian pride that there's a co-production show about a Mountie in Chicago
Yeah.
on every week. Paul Gross, man. I mean, he was the dude.
I started watching the pilot, and he's a likable guy. It's kind of a crazy, like, the plot's a little crazy.
What is the plot? A Mountie goes, why
His
is the
dad,
Mountie in Chicago?
His dad gets killed, and he was like a Mountie that's been on the force for a while, and they're in like the Northwest Territories.
Okay.
And then for some reason there is like clues that the killers could be in Chicago, and at the same time he finds out that there's an opening at the Chicago police force, so he asks his boss to transfer him. He literally asked for a transfer somehow to like the Chicago police force. That's what I gathered from the
And he keeps wearing his Mountie uniform.
I turned it off like after he that's so funny.
Like, imagine you're in Chicago and you see these cops pull up and one of them is dressed like a Mountie.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Well, you know what?
There are posters, by the way, for a play that Paul Gross is in right now in the annex. He's still at it. I think he's doing a play at maybe some theater in the area.
Whoa, I gotta go
ask
him a couple questions.
He would be a good guest to get on.
Yeah. How's it? So you got transferred back up here, eh?
Yeah.
Is this a cop play or something? I know you guys do.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it is hard when you talk to a guy like Paul Gross. You do forget, like, what's the character?
Exactly.
Where does the character end and you begin?
Yep.
I don't know. The answer, God.
Wow.
Due South was big.
Were there any other shows like that you remember that
were kind of like
caused some mania like internationally before? Like, does it literally go Due South and
Kids
then
in the Hall?
Yeah.
Was
Oh, true.
like
Yeah.
Popular in America and kind of like made here, or at least a co-production.
Yeah.
And what I always would annoy me as a kid when a show or a movie is blatantly meant to be in Canada and they pretend it's in the States.
Yeah.
Kids in the Hall never did that. They always use Canadian money and all that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure they had to fight for that, right?
Oh,
with
probably.
the NBC guys,
Yeah,
right? So thank you for putting it on the line,
You know what was a big era though, if you were from Toronto, was like there was this period in the 90s when like Mike Myers was on SNL and he was very like always talking about the Leafs and all that.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's blowing up and the Bare Naked Ladies are blowing up.
Yeah, true.
It was a wild time.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
To say nothing of Snow.
Pardon?
The guy who sang Informer.
Yeah, they who said nothing of it? Oh,
I said to say nothing of him.
Yeah, exactly.
He was part of it too.
He was, yeah. And you know what? I always, I love Jim Carrey, but I always was so disappointed when in Living Color he made that sketch making fun of snow. There's a sketch where he makes fun of snow.
right.
I said, why would
Why
you
do that?
would you kick one of your own? You know?
You know what? I'll be honest. One night, I probably was drunk,
Yeah.
and I do a podcast with Chris Locke and Mike Belazzo called Evil Men,
Yep.
and I DM'd Snow. And I
No
said,
way.
We do a podcast. We'd love to have you on. And
Yeah.
he wrote back and said, contact my manager, and gave me an email address.
Oh, that's
But
amazing.
I didn't. It seemed like a good idea at 11:45 p.m.
Yeah.
And then the next day I went, I haven't gone through. I haven't emailed the guy, but maybe I will.
You should. You should. And you know what? I feel like, how long ago was that? Just
A
curious.
month ago.
Oh,
maybe,
that's
2
good.
months.
You know what? That's so good, because like that means like it's kind of like some sort of like negotiation tactic where it shows you're busy. You know, you got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we'll
Wait
try
2
to
months,
get
yeah.
Snow on the show if we can, but who knows? Maybe Ben Stagger's on. Like we'll try to work Snow in.
God bless. I hope you get him, because
Me
that would be
too.
awesome. And that's just like a good story. One of those infamous stories of just shooting your shot, 1 in a million, right?
1 in a million. Yeah, I think it would be cool if I could say, Snow, we'll come to your place. So you don't have to
Yeah.
travel anywhere, and then we get to see Snow's house.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
He has a song that's not in form. Oh, whereas he's really good at singing. Everybody wants to be like you.
Oh, yeah, that was
It's a really good
later,
song,
right?
I don't know. It's
Everybody wants to be like you.
positive message.
That
But
is positive.
I love shooting my shot or shooting
yeah.
shots like that. I still like, sometimes I think about like shots I've shot, like just like messaging or emailing people to see if I can do something, blah, blah, blah. Still waiting for a message back from Kim Mitchell.
Oh, that would be good. That would be really good.
I don't know. Because I was like, I messaged him being like, yeah, so like, I mean, it looks crazy, but I was like, yeah, so I made this Portuguese Yoshi song. And I was like, really my dad raised me on you, and I would love to, you know, maybe I said maybe we could. I said something like maybe we could get together and shoot a video of us singing the song or whatever. I can't even look at the I can't even look back at the message, because I don't know if he's like looked at it yet, and I would be very yeah.
What was the band name he was in?
Max Webster.
Yeah, Max Webster.
Yeah.
I love that one song. I guess their most famous song. Fuck, I forget how it
Let
goes.
Go of the Line.
Yeah.
Doing it. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know, because like after I was I was really listening to Kim Mitchell a lot, like a couple months ago during my Portuguese Yoshi sort of movement when that began. And I didn't know until a couple months ago that is not Kim Mitchell singing Let Go of the Line. It's the keyboard player, but he's playing guitar. But he sings a lot of Max Webster songs. But yeah,
I'd like to hear more.
there's some good stuff, honestly.
I mean, Patio Lanterns is a banger.
It really is. And I found another song that I think is one of my favorite Kim Mitchell songs. It's called Easy to Tame. Did you ever listen to that one?
Easy to Tame. No.
It's cool. It's off of the same record that Patio Lanterns is on. So you really have to check that out. Everyone, I don't care if he hasn't messaged me back yet. I still support him, and I hope he's going to message me back one day.
Well, I mean, I know you know, but yeah, Kim Mitchell, after his music career, was a DJ on Q107,
Yeah,
classic
famously.
rock station here for years. And I remember him playing his own music, and he goes, "Hey, if I don't play it, who will?"
Exactly.
And
And
I
that's
thought, good for you.
I know. And you know what? He was ahead of his time, because nowadays everyone has to be their own manager, their own advocate. So he's ahead of his time.
He was.
Now, I have to ask you this. So obviously, you probably remember where you were when Kiss took the makeup off, right?
I think I might have just been a baby, but I think I do have a baby memory
That's
of
your
it.
first memory?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly when it was, but I've seen the videos, and you go, oh, maybe put the makeup back
Yeah,
on.
I know. You think that. Now, following that question up, you remember where you were when Kiss took the makeup off. When Kiss took the makeup off. Now, do you remember where you were when Kim Mitchell ditched the hat and went bald. He fully committed to that.
Right. Because nowadays with style, guys always have those floppy hats. That's a real look.
Yeah, it is.
And Kim was doing that years before.
He was.
To hide that bald spot.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've watched a Max Webster video or clip and he had long hair and even had a bald spot then, but I could be wrong.
He was balding at like but it was often covered by an OPP hat.
Oh, right.
He loved his OPP hat.
Yeah.
Now he sells hats on his store where it's like it looks like OPP but says KIM.
That's cool. You know, he's being a little more with the times politically.
Yeah.
But still the same look.
Yeah.
I like that.
He's he is just one of a kind. Kim Mitchell.
He is. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so Patio Lanterns, what was the second biggest song probably?
Go for a Soda. That might be his.
Might as well go for a soda, nobody alone.
You know what? That was a music video that kind of creeped me out when it come on Much More Music.
Oh,
because they're playing in a little fridge. Like this kid like opens his fridge and then there's Kim Mitchell.
The video's really literal. Like,
yeah,
hey, might as well drink a soda.
Yeah,
and a kid's like, oh, okay.
You know what? On the Wiki,
I hope he wasn't funded by Nabisco or Nestle or some big soda conglomerate.
Well, it's possible. There's a paper trail somewhere, and I would love an episode of Murdoch where he gets into a time machine and then he has to.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for that. We need Murdoch to get into a time machine. Like that's when I
think it's getting kind of silly, like because it's been on so long.
Yeah,
so maybe they will do something like that. Every episode, it's like, now every episode's like, Murdoch, there's a new psychologist visiting Toronto called Sigmund Freud, you know, and then Sigmund Freud somehow is in Toronto.
Yeah.
And Murdoch has to help him solve a murder or something like that.
Man, know what that has me thinking? It's like Murdoch Mysteries, one of the longest running Canadian television shows, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And it makes me think like it's it's a thing. Like people watch it, obviously.
Yeah.
Or
my wife
loves
Murdoch Mysteries. She watches them all the time. Or
like,
she used to.
It kind of reminds me of like when CSI and Law and Order, they became really big. Well, CSI specifically, and they started branching out to other cities and stuff. I want to,
yes,
there
should be a Murdoch Vancouver.
That'd be really cool.
Murdoch Mysteries Calgary.
Murdoch Moncton.
Murdoch Moncton.
Yeah.
And it's still Murdoch, but he's just in Moncton.
Moncton, yeah. Or maybe he has like, that'd be a cool part of the Murdoch lore is like, maybe there's something like, Murdoch, he grew up in an orphanage. His mom had he had six brothers and sisters.
Like the quintuplets.
Yeah, and they all chose to become police in what we know. I don't know. I don't know when Murdoch takes place. It's the 1800s.
I don't know exactly. Yeah. I feel like it's around 1900, maybe 1870.
Okay.
You know what? I'm looking this up.
Please look it up. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the season finale when I get him on, but in character. Murdoch, this is a podcast. Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Like his
Try explaining this podcast to Murdoch. No,
I would love his buddy. Murdoch, I'm gonna start a podcast. I'd like that.
1890s.
Makes sense.
So we were basically right.
Wow. So is the 1890s? Is that before hockey got big in Canada?
That's a great question.
Oh man. I
am a big sports guy. I know baseball was going in the 1890s.
No way.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny if you look back to the statistics then, it's all like really crazy team names. There was a team called the Boston Bean Eaters.
Whoa.
Yeah, there was all sorts of crazy stuff like that. But 1890, I bet hockey was like, I don't know if it was a thing. The NHL started in like the 1910s or something.
Whoa. 20 years after.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but Oh my God. Do you remember on Murdoch Mysteries when it was just after the Raptors won the NBA championship and then the Raptors coach, Nick Nurse, acted in an episode?
No.
Oh, you have to. It's so corny. And Nick Nurse like throws a wadded up piece of paper into a basket or something. And he's like, huh. This seems like a pretty good game we might invent someday.
Oh, I love that.
Maybe I'll be a coach of it. Like it's literally.
Is he like
Nace?
John Nace? Does he play John Naismith?
Yeah, it's really nuts.
Wow, I remember like the last Murdoch when I was really like when Murdoch was like in my periphery, like when I was really kind of knowing what was going on. Mm-hmm. The last big Murdoch news is when Stephen Harper infamously he's in an episode. He plays like a judge or something.
I barely man, that's really funny. I can't believe Trudeau hasn't been on it.
I know.
And drama teacher.
I know.
Like,
I've talked about he
actually, I'm not kidding. If Yannick Bisson ever had a contract dispute and left Murdoch, literally you could cast Justin Trudeau.
Dude, I know.
He looks the same.
And he'd do a good job too. I've talked to Joel about this, but Joel believes, and Joel Edmondson believes, and I believe this too, that Justin Trudeau would be a great host of Survivor Canada.
That's absolutely brilliant.
He would be so good. Right. That's Joel. Yeah, Joel, you're right.
Justin's still young. He's what, 50?
I know. He's younger than Jeff. He would be so good.
Honestly, it's a waste for him not to get into entertainment because he's perfect for it. Do you see Brian Mulroney's son, Ben Mulroney, is like a right-wing talk radio host?
I've seen some I've heard some clips and it's so weird because I remember him from E-Talk.
Yeah, he was like, I'm a friendly, dumb guy. And
but
now there's like end immigration.
There's literal audio clips of him yelling at people and stuff on the show. He's becoming one of those radio
Rush
Limbaugh. He's getting callers and he yells at them.
You can kiss my ass.
I just think I just imagine if, Ben Mulroney becomes a right-wing sort of shock jock.
Yeah.
Like Opie and Anthony.
Yeah. Ben in the morning.
Yeah.
I miss, what was another big thing in when I was younger that's kind of gone away is morning radio teams were a huge deal. And now it's I think because of podcasts, and streaming or whatever, I feel like fewer people listen to the radio. But when I was growing up, Roger, Rick, and Marilyn were legends. They couldn't walk down the street.
What station were they on?
104.5 Chum FM.
Okay, Marilyn Dennis or okay,
Marilyn Dennis, Rick Roger Ashby, and Rick. A guy called Rick.
Wow.
And Humble and Fred on Edge 102, and then Dean Blundell.
Yep.
Who else was there? Oh, John Derringer. I think he got canceled, but he was a morning guy.
Yeah.
It was a huge deal. You were a celeb if you were like a local rich celeb.
Yeah.
I love sports. I love Bob McCowan.
Yeah.
This gruff guy. He did these
always
ads.
Wears sunglasses.
Always wore sunglasses. Yeah, he was the best.
I remember when sorry. Sometimes this thing goes crazy. Hey, behave. So sometimes I gotta take the headphones off because it's playing me old. It's
still recording, but
it's still recording, but it plays you the past, which makes you
move on.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. I'm just picturing Murdoch or whatever. They're listening. It's playing us what we already said, and it turns into a time loop or something. I don't know. I haven't figured it out. But what I was gonna say is my dad. Sometimes he used to drive us to school when we were kids, and he'd have Dean Blundell on. He'd always be like, "These guys are so bad." These guys are so they're because they'd always
pretty
they were
edgy.
saying like crazy shit on the radio.
They were. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he got fired because he said something stupid, but it was pretty edgy, no question about it. I listened to he came on like right at the end of my high school time, and I used to drive my parents' car to high school
Yeah.
sometimes, so I'd listen to the edgy morning radio on the way in. Oh, dude, you know what was a huge thing here? Okay, this was a huge event. So I want to say in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, the CRTC decided to allow Howard Stern to be on the radio in Canada. And he wasn't allowed before. And it was like a huge deal. And he was on Q107. And it like, you know, all the other radio stations were so mad because they're letting Howard Stern come in.
Yeah.
And I would listen to it sometimes driving into school. And that was edgy as hell.
Whoa.
It was crazy.
And isn't that like a long show? Oh, yeah.
Because like it was like he'd start at 6 or something and go to like 11.
Yeah.
And there'd be really weird long breaks, and he wouldn't like he'd kind of end at different times every day. I guess he was so famous.
Yeah,
was
he was doing his
going.
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember being like 17 and driving to my high school in the countryside and listening to Howard Stern, and he had on a guy who had sex with dogs. And I'm just a kid, innocent kid driving to school listening to
An innocent Canadian boy.
who likes to have sex with dogs.
That's what they do down there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Howard Stern asked him if he went to a kennel, would that be like if a guy went into a strip club, would that feel
Oh
the
my
same way?
gosh.
I mean, that kind of stuff really stayed with me.
Yeah.
You know, so
Dude, in our life, you're a whack packer.
what's a whack packer?
Oh, he has his Howard Stern's like orbit of like crazy
Oh.
people he calls crazy that he like interviews all the time, like
yeah.
Beetlejuice. And,
Right,
yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I wonder if Howard's. I mean, I don't. I wonder if he's like. I wonder what his show's like these days. I'm just sure he still has like his diehard fans, but I don't know.
I kind of feel like when you get so rich and older, you must not have your heart in it anymore.
No.
I mean, I think he does it like 3 days a week now.
Wow. He's like part time a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a part-time job.
Hey.
And I think I read his studio is in his like New York penthouse.
No way.
So like they all have to, but like in a so like he just
So
has to
Robin
walk.
goes in there
Robin,
too.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
Wow. He's I don't know. Yeah, I've listened to some interviews by him, but he makes it very hard to keep them on YouTube. So
He is a great interviewer.
He is, yeah, he's
And
good.
you know what? A lot of these guys became right wingers, and he is.
He's like
he's a Democrat.
he's a Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has some views that we might not agree with, but he hates Trump.
Wearing sunglasses indoors.
Yes.
Yeah. He's my hero. He's why I got into this.
I can see his influence on you even in
Yeah.
this interview. Like,
Yep.
I see a lot of Howard in what you're doing.
Yeah, I try to really just get to what ticks my guest, and that's why I brought up the tariffs. I knew that'd get you going.
Oh, I'm chomping at the bit.
I like follow an Instagram page about a Newfoundland sort of like separation movement. Are you aware of this?
Oh, I know Alberta is like kind of into it.
Well, Newfoundland, there's like a movement too. It's like called Republic of Newfoundland.
Wow.
Search it up.
I'm not sure that they would do so great. There's not even 1 million people in Newfoundland. I love it.
I want to go there, and yeah, but it's like Republic of Newfoundland. It says nothing about Labrador, so I was wondering if you had any intel, if over your years you've heard if there's beef between those two, and do you know of anybody? Have you ever met someone from
Labrador?
Newfoundland or Labrador? I don't know.
I've met people from Newfoundland.
Cool.
I don't know if I've met anyone from Labrador. Like maybe we should get some of our comedian friends together and go to Labrador City and put on a show.
Let's put on a show, or fuck it, let's just go and meet some people. Let's just have
scouting mission.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's funny because when you hear Labrador City, I almost, for some reason in my mind, I imagine like a city like Tokyo, like this is
Yeah.
Labrador City. But I have a feeling it's probably more like a little village.
Yeah, it might be, and there's only one way to find out. And when you say a village, that makes me think of, for some reason my mind goes here. When you say village, that makes me think of Frankenstein. That took place in a village.
Oh.
And then that made me think because you know how we have to really move to support Canadian media, support everything
Yes.
Canada.
Yes.
What if they made a Frankenstein Canada and it takes place in Labrador City or Newfoundland? I would love to see a Newfoundland.
Oh my God, that Frankenstein monster! Oh, he's drinking all the screech.
Yes. Oh yeah, he has to go to the. Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
Maybe
oh my
he
God, we screeched ourselves in with a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good idea.
Hey guys, let's do this.
Or he's like, I'm Frankenstein, eh?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah. That'd be cool.
that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Did you know this, Ben? In 1949,
Okay.
Newfoundland was, prior to that, they weren't part of anything. They were kind of just a territory
That's
of England.
cool.
And they had a choice. We can join Canada or we can join the United States. And they chose Canada.
Wow. Okay.
This is true.
Wow.
Imagine if Newfoundland was American.
That'd
I
be.
literally can't.
Yeah. Wow. 51st. It would be. I
Could have
guess,
been the 51st
51st
state.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
In
Or-
our life. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's the thing too when Trump goes, you could be the 51st state. Have you ever, do you know there's 10 provinces and 3 territories?
yeah. You know what though?
What a big state it would be. I know population it's not that big, but come on.
I know this is yeah. This is
Also,
why
50 is a round number.
I
You can't
know.
have 51.
I know, but maybe he's like also thinking like, okay, Greenland that'll be 52.
Greenland would be 52.
Yeah.
52 card pickup.
Yeah,
it's a good
exactly.
number.
Deck of cards. Yeah, I don't know. You know what though? I was just I saw like some videos about like how like the map projections we know are like a little off.
I love
how
this.
Canada and US is like made a bit bigger. So maybe for me and you, maybe Canada just all our whole lives we've been pushed. Canada's this big ass place. It's so big. It's so big. It's so big. But maybe that's just the map projection that we are taught as kids, propaganda potentially.
Yep.
And maybe Canada's literally 2 New Jerseys or something like that. You know
Yeah,
what I
we
mean?
don't
Like maybe
know.
it
There's
is
no
not
way
that
to
big.
know.
So maybe I'm not saying I want to become the 50, but I'm not saying I want to become the 51st state. But what I'm saying is I've never been up in space or anything like that. So how do we not know that Canada might be the size of New Jersey or
we don't know.
Massachusetts or yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
We really don't. So
I remember the first time I saw that the way the mercature projection of the map was just really inaccurate. It really blew my mind.
yeah.
Like, it makes it look like Greenland's the size of Africa, and really
Yeah.
it's like 5% as big.
I don't fully understand why they can't make it more like what they had it like. Are there maps, curved maps that like could?
Yeah, there's a map that takes, because you know what it is? The countries, like a ball, it kind of curves in at the top.
Yeah.
And it curves out in the middle. So it looks like the things at the top are bigger, but really because it's curving in, it's like less space. But there is a map that kind of makes everything look stretched and takes it actual size into account. I used to
Whoa.
have it up on my wall. It's kind of cool. And Canada's, we're like just a tiny bit bigger than the States.
Yeah.
But
just
we're not a lot bigger.
yeah. We're not that much bigger, but
No.
as a kid, I used to like really be like quite proud. I was like, we're the biggest country. But are we not? Is Russia bigger than
Russia's
us?
bigger
okay,
than
okay.
us, yeah.
Well, I was
But we're
a little
second.
misinformed.
Well, for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, it's not an easy.
Oh, Yeah. No, I was just thinking.
Mm.
Well, what I was thinking is maybe Russia keeps on doing all these land grabs because all they really care about is not letting Canada be the biggest country in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
They're worried. This whole Ukraine war is Russia being worried
Yeah.
that we're going to grow and get bigger than them.
Yeah, exactly.
And Zelensky doesn't like.
Yeah.
Ugh, fuck.
That'd be crazy, like, because obviously they're like in the next couple months there's going to be a new prime minister.
Mm.
There might be 2 new prime ministers. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But my question is I wonder if Justin Trudeau's going to do like some like kind of like fun stuff before he leaves. Like,
Well, yeah. You know, when he came in, he legalized marijuana.
I know.
So on the way out, how about, what else could he legalize or do that's fun?
Oh.
I don't know.
I would think something
You get to kill one person.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Just an idea. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe yeah.
Or what about this? On his way out, he goes, and my final act as prime minister is I am making a Canadian Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. That would be so
And
cool.
It's guaranteed. It's going to have a cast of all the Toronto comedians.
Wow. Okay. Justin, if you're listening,
Yeah.
yes, buddy. Yes, James. You're thinking what everyone wants. So
He would go down as the greatest prime minister in history if he did that. But
I wonder if he will like, and he's like, and I will be showrunner. And then, or he's like, yeah, and one more catch. I gotta do update. I gotta do update.
And then you know how Dr. Evil is based on Lorne Michaels?
Yeah.
He goes, yes, $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, or zip
Wow.
it.
Also, I was just thinking, like for his last like month or whatever, gets a mohawk.
That would be so cool. A red mohawk
Yeah.
for Canada. If he did that, I mean, he'd be a legend.
I was picturing him on
Oh
the
my God.
picturing him on a bill or something.
Yeah.
He has a
That
mohawk.
would be so cool. I believe he is a corny guy at heart who would do that.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for the goddamn like stuck up House of Commons people,
Yeah.
probably would have already done that by now.
Oh, this reminds me I feel like about like half an hour ago, I wanted to talk about something, but I totally forgot. But do you follow or are Sophie Gregoire Trudeau on on Instagram or anything?
No.
I started following her. She posts a lot of inspirational stuff.
Nice.
But a couple days ago, she posted this video where she gets her daughter and like her friends to film, and she like purposely like falls on snow for them, like falls on ice. It's really funny.
It seems really staged.
No, like she like is like
Oh.
doing it like on purpose. For some
Oh.
reason, she like jumps. I was like, you're winning me over.
It's crazy that their marriage is over.
I know.
Okay, I've got an idea. So, I try to not follow American popular culture as best I can, but
Yeah.
there are rumors that Barack Obama and his wife are separated, or their marriage has fallen apart.
Whoa.
And there are rumors that Obama was dating Jennifer Aniston, but she says that's
Whoa.
Anyway, let's assume that rumor's true. And Michelle Obama is single.
Ah.
Guess who else is single right now?
Yep.
Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
What if they dated?
Oh my God. Yes.
Like, that would be great.
that would be, oh my God. Oh yes. I like where you're heading with that. And then because we got, again, wow, that's almost like a TV show.
It is.
Right? And
Yeah.
season 2.
They
Well,
have
no,
a
it's season.
baby, and that baby, like, I don't know, becomes the leader of the free world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes. Oh, that would be the
chosen
that
one.
would be the coolest baby of all time.
Oh yeah.
Made me think about. Imagine, picture this, because another marriage we know, based on a lot of information, must be on the rocks. So let me propose something else. Stephen Harper.
Okay.
Melania. Donald Trump. Laureen Harper.
like a polycule or
no, like
they
the
break
sort of
up.
swap. The sort of because
swap. I mean,
because
Stephen's doing great in this situation.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, Donald Trump. People say that their marriage is on the rocks too because of the whole Stormy Daniels and all of that stuff. You know.
Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah.
For a marriage.
No, it's not.
Like, it's hard to imagine Melania. Like, where does Stephen Harper live? Calgary?
Yeah.
So I don't even know if he does, but like she moves to Calgary and lives with Stephen Harper and he's making egg salad sandwiches every day for lunch. And she's like,
blasting
New York.
Blasting the Beatles. He loves the Beatles, as we found out.
Wow.
Yeah, so love can make you do crazy things.
Oh, I mean, that's for sure.
That is, you know what? Our country, the country we live in or whatever, you know, its future's on. We need someone to run. I don't know.
No, say it.
We need someone to run on love.
That is really true. And I hope you clip that and put that because that is like truer than ever.
You know what? Hey, yeah.
Run on love.
Yeah, kind of like what. Yeah. I don't know. It's very simple, but isn't it the truth?
It's so the truth.
Yeah, I really think so too. And you know what? We'll just see what happens. And next couple of days, I just gotta watch all the American stuff I can watch, and then I'm gonna be then I'm gonna be taking some time to watch Due South.
Yep, watch Due South. Watch Jeff Inc.
Jeff Inc.
Have you heard of Jeff Inc?
It sounds familiar.
Google Jeff Inc. You don't have. I mean, I didn't mean right now, but do if you want. But it's you should actually Google it and see the image. I think it might be I don't know anyone involved, and I'm sorry if anyone listening was, but it's one of the most inexplicable seeming sitcoms I've ever seen.
Was it called Jeff Limited?
Sorry, Jeff Limited. And it was just like, I don't know what this is. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know why it's a sitcom. Hey, people, if I get a sitcom someday, people may say the same about me.
Wow.
So who am I to say anything? But
yeah.
if you Google, like, I don't know if you can find the key, like the art for it or whatever. I just remember being like, we're making Jeff Limited, and my friends, my funny friends don't have shows, who later moved to the States and became really famous. But that's how we do it sometimes.
He's kind of dressed like
yeah, there we go. There's Jeff Limited.
He's dressed like Marlon Brando. You know what?
I'm surprised by how few photos evidence there is of Jeff Limited.
That just makes me think like, there's some like CTV executives who are gonna be like, yeah, what do kids find cool these days? And one guy's like the rest shows a Rebel Without a Cause or something like that.
I swear to God, I feel like Jeff Limited has been erased from the internet.
I know.
Like, what is going on? It was a fucking show. I swear to God. There's one photo on Google Images. How is that possible?
Damn, that's another thing. I feel like Canada's like tried a lot of shows. I feel like we gotta do a better job. We're gonna try it, like preserve it a bit. Like let people like if you're gonna cancel it, let us know a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there's like some I was really into Degrassi, like all of it, like for a while. I watched
the old school one.
Yeah, I was watching that one,
all the way with Stephanie K.
Yeah, and like they had like Spike. The TV movies and stuff like that.
I had a crush on Spike, even though she was pregnant. I still liked. Not that I wouldn't like a pregnant girl. It didn't deter me.
She was cool. She was punk.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
Wheels, those glasses. Would be very fashionable now.
Yeah,
his whole aesthetic.
He hitchhiked right to Port Hope in that episode. Yeah, that's a crazy episode.
Good shit.
No, it's very dramatic and good. But the thing is after that was on, I read that there's like a show that Pat Mastriani was on that was like about like people in their 20s and it like takes place in Liberty Village, and it's hard to find that online.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. There was also a show really briefly. Fuck, what was it called? Imagine a Canadian Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
Oh, okay.
And it maybe had 4 episodes, but it was good. I remember watching it. God,
But
I wish
it was
I remembered
about-
what it was called. It was a behind the scenes of a variety show.
Whoa.
Man, oh my God, what was it?
Cool.
I have a weird memory where I'll remember weird things really specifically, and obscure Canadian shows that were on for like
A season.
3 months. I remember so well. I wish I remembered the name of this. It was literally called like Wednesday Night Live or something.
That is cool. Well,
Find out.
which begs the question,
Looking it up.
when I say Orphan Black, does that mean anything to you?
You know what? I never saw it, but I always meant to, and I know Christian Brune a little,
Yeah.
actor, and it looks great. I bet I would love it.
The thing is crazy about that, I think I must have just like looked up, like most like best Canadian shows like a couple weeks
does
ago.
It count as Canadian? That's
Allegedly
awesome
it does.
Cool.
And I didn't know that. So or at least it came up on like some sort of weird like article. Oh yeah, it is a Canadian scientific. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is I only learned to all the viewers around the world, I only learned a couple weeks ago that Orphan Black's a Canadian show. How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
many Canadian shows, so little time, but lots of time. We say, and that's how we, the consumers, we hit back with those tariffs.
Yes.
By only watching Canadian television and shows and
I got a good one.
Canadian sports and yeah.
I hated the show when I was sort of just starting in comedy, and this show was big, and I was so mad, like, why is this on the Comedy Network? And it was called Keys to the VIP.
I've heard of that, but I didn't know that was a Canadian show.
Oh, it was.
Whoa.
And it was like a reality show where they'd film guys at the club.
Yeah.
Hitting on girls, and then these 3, Casanovas would review the guy's job hitting on the girls.
Whoa.
And I remember when I was like in my early mid-20s, I had a meeting with the Comedy Network, and they were kind of like, when I have these ideas that are kind of like a New Kids in the Hall. And they're like, yeah, that's never going to happen. We're kind of looking for stuff like Keys to the VIP.
Wow.
Yeah. It was very heartening as a young comedian to hear that.
You should. Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, so they like if you would have like picked up like like a like where you're like a pickup artist or something like that.
It literally was a show about being a pickup artist and in sort of, encouraging that.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool. The Comedy Network, it had a few shows.
I remember I was shocked. Like, isn't Crank Yankers? Was that not a Canadian show?
Crank Yankers wasn't, but there was a puppet.
Okay,
one.
there was a puppets who kill. Okay,
yeah.
All right.
I think I could be wrong on Crank Yankers.
Wow, man.
I remember there was a Quebecois sketch show called Why Be Normal.
Interesting.
The letter Y.
Yeah.
The letter B. Normal.
Whoa.
And the only sketch I remember from it was a guy in a donut factory.
Yeah.
And the donut comes on a conveyor belt with no hole in it. And then he puts it down and implies he sticks his boner through the donut.
Oh.
And then he pulls the donut out and puts it back on the conveyor belt.
And he just does that with one donut.
Well, he does it all day.
Oh my God. Okay.
And the joke is like, that's, how the donuts are made. Yeah, why be normal?
Oh my God. I gotta study up on that. Wow. Okay.
I hope this is entertaining for your listeners.
No, I think it's fun. We're just like listing off.
Yeah.
We're just like listing off famous Canadian shows. But
here we go. Wow. Oh no, wait. That's a tattoo shop called Why Be Normal. Why be normal? Show. How come my memory remembers stuff that Google doesn't? Here we go. Why be normal? 5.3 out of 10.
Oh, 98 to 99.
Yeah.
Filmed in Aylmer,
time.
Quebec, it said.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Damn. Well, you know what? We're going to have to get some of these shows back.
I know.
And you know what? Oftentimes, sometimes we look to the States on how their entertainment, but there's a lot of we've had reboots of Will Grace. We've had reboots of Frasier.
Yeah.
We have had reboots of a lot of different things. Reunions of Friends. So maybe there's a reunion of Why Be Normal.
I think if that happened, it might be the only thing that's going to make Canadians happy, like right now.
Yep.
I
agree. I want to see some. We got to celebrate what we've had, and we got to look to the future. And yeah.
You know what I genuinely want to see?
What?
How about these Canadian celebs who went down to L.A.? How about, why don't you guys say something?
Yeah.
Speaking of Will and Grace, Eric McCormick.
Yeah.
How about you say
this
something?
This is an official
We're
call
all
out.
waiting.
Yeah.
God almighty.
Yeah. It makes me think of people like Will Arnett.
Will Arnett.
Interesting, buddy.
Interesting. That's all we're gonna say.
Interesting. I watched all of Arrested Development for you, but you're not saying shit on this.
No.
Okay. I'll go as far. Oh, Wayne Gretzky.
Okay, he's Trump's friend.
Oh,
Wayne.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the symbol of being Canadian. How about you do something, you?
Yeah, he's probably going to sell out Power of Canada. Imagine somehow he gets Brantford to be the 51st.
If he moves the Wayne Gretzky Winery to the United States, he should honestly be tried.
Yeah, he should be tried. You should never come back.
Have you been to that winery?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you'd like it. It's fun. You go and it's because I've been to Niagara and you can go to the wineries and they're kind of elegant and charming and small and very nice.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Wayne Gretzky one and it's very berry on a Friday.
Oh, I love that.
And it's there's a skating rink in the back with you can get spiked whiskey or spiked hot chocolate or whatever. And it's way more hosiery, I guess.
Wow. Okay.
But it's funny. It's
might not agree with you on everything, Wayne, but damn, you know how to design a winery for guys like us. Yeah.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, I also I get dazzled sometimes. Or you know what? The first time I drove around in Brantford and I was driving on the Wayne Gretzky Parkway, I was a little I couldn't believe it.
My friend Rory, shout out.
Yep. Hi.
He grew up around London and Ontario.
Yeah.
And he knew that in Brantford Wayne Gretzky's cousin still lived there.
Wow.
And it was, I guess, I feel bad implicating Rory in this now, but maybe my memory's wrong, but he might have said he was a sketchy guy.
Yeah.
And he started a memorabilia shop called Gretzky Memorabilia.
Yeah.
But just capitalizing on his cousin's name,
Yeah.
And I guess would get Wayne to sign stuff and things like that.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do that, sir.
If Wayne Gretzky was my cousin, hell yeah. I'd be like, Wayne, can you be on the podcast?
Yeah,
please?
Exactly. Oh my God. The favors I would ask if he was my cousin.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I really want to, that gives me a great idea to capitalize on some of the successes of my own cousins.
Oh yeah, really? What do your cousins do?
I got a couple who are one's a contractor.
Okay, I could use.
So good.
Yeah,
he's good at what he does.
Yeah,
I have a cousin who's in med school right now.
That might come in handy.
So yeah,
next pandemic.
Okay, yeah, okay. So this is good to know. Yeah, well. You know what? We only have so much memory in our thing there, and we're almost at a very scary time where the camera will shut off. So,
well, I'm having a blast, and honestly, this
was a walk down memory lane.
Yeah, I hope this. I mean,
no, I think it's entertaining.
Yeah, I hope so.
No, this is a different kind of episode. We're just kind of bouncing ideas off.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Sometimes you gotta do that.
Sometimes you gotta.
Oh my God! You know what? Well, yeah. You know what? I'm sure people have pointed this out before, but yeah. Did you ever think to yourself, all this tariff talk and all this stuff that Donald Trump's pulling a Kyle's mom from South Park, like the South Park Bigger and Longer Uncut movie?
I forget what she did in that.
She blames Canada, and then yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. You know what? That could be like a very funny angle for a video or something.
Yeah.
You're big on TikTok and Instagram. Like I like that. And you could be like, what is this? Blame Canada all over again? Listen, honey, South Park was 20 years ago, folks.
You know what? I think
We're not Terrence and Phillip, motherfucker.
You know what you're saying, what we're thinking about right now, this is not mine, this is not yours. I think only one man, but what we're saying is perhaps the words for someone else to use. I think Canada, if we need someone more than ever to save us right now, we need someone to come out of retirement. Mr. Mercer, we need another rant.
Oh.
And this is where it begins.
Genuinely.
It begins with this.
So Donald Trump thinks, we're Donald Trump's been watching too much South Park.
Yeah.
Blame Canada. Maybe you should blame yourself.
Yes.
I mean, hey, look, all I'm going to say is if Rick doesn't want to do it, I would be open to it. I have a leather jacket.
You know where he fell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Rick, the offer's on the table, and if you don't, at least could you film like a pre-record, like endorsing James as and you're kind of like, you could take over his sort of thing, and you could make it
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to. I mean, I think I'm known for being a no bullshit, tell it like it is guy.
Yeah.
And I'm deeply immersed in Canadian politics.
And you have a massive respect for showcasing Canadian street art, because that's what
Rick,
he always did it in a graffiti alley or something. Yeah.
Somebody told me, a wardrobe person once told me that Rick Mercer has a really big head, not metaphorically, but literally.
Cool.
He has a big head. I have a big head.
Wow.
So someone said, like, who else has a big head? Rick Mercer.
Wow, I would love to see an MRI. That's why he's big brained, right? That's how he comes up with these rants, right?
Absolutely. The bigger the brain of an animal, the smarter it is.
Yeah.
Elephants.
Yep. Elephants, they give them a couple years with evolution and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Think of the rants they'll have.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And the memory they have. And I gotta think that they have some of the memories of their ancestors. And I would love an elephant in, just doing a rant in the graffiti alley on Queen Street in Toronto.
Oh, my God. Babar, but with a Canadian twist.
And I'm sure Babar was a Nelvana production
Probably.
in Canada. So what a great it was a nice little soft ending of a memory of a show that we both know about. Love it.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, James, for coming on this thing. I hope you had a good time.
I had a great time. Thank you for having me. There's a gluten-free cafe on Harvard I think you should go to called Almond Butterfly.
Oh, I've been there, and they got some good stuff. Yeah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm a huge Ben fan.
Well, I'm a huge James fan,
wow.
And here's to the rest of 2025. Let's see what happens.
Here's to it.
See you later, and have a great Valentine's Day. It's coming up in a couple weeks. So.
Oh, yes. And definitely put in the comments what your Valentine's plans are.
Yep. let us know what you're thinking about doing, and
Tag both of us.
yeah, let us know. It'll give us some ideas too. So, anyways, thanks very much. We'll see you very soon, and that's all,
Peace
folks.
be with you.
Nice. Nice.